And I think both teams probably pushed as far as they could in regards to challenging spirit of cricket, code of conduct, all that sort of thing. But personally, I don't think anyone overstepped the mark. To the other bowlers in that Indian squad, they deserve a lot of credit to be able to step up. And I do believe, and I don't think anybody would say differently, any team with Bumrah in it is a better team. I think England go into this series expecting to win. So I think India have overperformed, have been exceptional. To be able to level the series 2-2, that's definitely a win for India in my opinion. G'day guys, welcome back to Beyond 23 for a test match number 5 wrap up, but just to talk about the series really as well, which has been an absolute beauty. I've got to say, very fortunate to be over there watching the Lord's test match, to watch it live. My first test match as well, watching at Lord's. Obviously played there, but never watched a game there until going to this series. So fortunate to be a part of it and actually see it live, but I haven't missed too much of it on TV as well, even though the time difference is terrible, London to Australia, but since being back in Aussie, I've tried to follow it as closely as I can. Two teams fought exceptionally hard for every single inch. I think that firstly has been great for Test cricket. It's exactly what we've needed and continue to need in Test cricket. You want to see all the games tightly fought, but you want to see the teams compete. And I think both teams probably pushed as far as they could in regards to challenging spirit of cricket, code of conduct, all that sort of thing. But personally, I don't think anyone overstepped the mark. I think the captains did their absolute best to support their teams publicly and on the field, which I think is your responsibility as the leader of your team and your captain. But I think they also knew where the line was and managed to control their players when need be as well. So I think from a leadership perspective, both captains, Shubman Gill in his first opportunity as captain, and Ben Stokes, I think deserve a lot of credit. I know Stokesy copped a bit of criticism after what happened in the 4th test match with, India deciding to bat on for 2 guys to go and make test hundreds. But overall in a series, I thought both teams handled the pressure, the expectation, and representing Test cricket very well. I think they played brilliant cricket, and I think, the emotions, the adrenaline, the competitiveness, I wouldn't want it anyway. I want to see it. I want to see players, want to get that wicket or want to make that 100 or, care about winning for whatever team you're playing for. So well done to both teams. For, again, putting on an awesome show of 5 test matches. That's the other thing, 5 test series, it's a lot of cricket. Winning in England is very hard. Very, very hard. So India, again, to win the last test match and level the series, wow, phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. And the other thing as well, the 2 test matches India won, the best bowler in the world didn't play in Bumrah. Bumrah didn't play the 2 test matches that India won. So, to the other bowlers in that Indian squad, they deserve a lot of credit to be able to step up. And I do believe, and I don't think anybody would say differently, any team with Bumrah in it is a better team. But to be able to, like I say, aim up and win those 2 test matches without him, that bowling attack deserves a lot of credit. Looking at the 5th test, again, so close the whole way through. I don't think anybody would have expected it to go to 5 days after seeing the pitch on day 1. I think both teams in the first innings scrapped their way to a pretty competitive total. Certainly some movement when there are overhead conditions as well. That's extremely tough batting conditions. Quite green wicket, ball swinging and seaming. So 224 played 247 in the first innings. And then India in the second innings, again, amazing to be able to get to 396. Yes, batting conditions got easier. The pitch got better. The bat on it flattened out. The sun was out. That obviously helped. But Jaswal, the way he plays, and again, I think with someone like him opening the batting, if all goes to plan and he has the career that we think he's going to, because he's a superstar, it's going to be a lot like Sehwag, I think. He plays that risky, top order, aggressive, set the intent, for your team's style of batsman. So you've got to accept that he's going to play some innings that you watch and go, oh my God, what a superstar, what an amazing player, like he did in this second innings, 118 off 164 balls. But he's going to nick the occasional ball and get a low score and hit one to backward point or play a pull shot and it's going to go straight up. So I know he's also copped some criticism through the series. He's either been very good or very bad, but he's one of the players you want in your team. The way he plays, he really sets that tone for that Indian batting lineup. And the other players that bat around him, I think they can play that supportive role. I think he's an unbelievable player, very talented. He'll continue to get better, but I think he's shown the way he plays. I just think we just need to be a bit realistic that, like I say, like Sehwag, when Sehwag was on, he was unstoppable, but sometimes he got out. He played a big cover drive and nicked it and got out for a duck or two. And, you know, I just think that's got to be the expectation with him because of the style of cricket he plays, which is very valuable to this Indian team. He's 100, brilliant. Akash Deep goes in as night watchman. I think his very first ball as night watchman, he chipped it over square leg and it went for 4 as well. And I think everybody would say he's more comfortable playing his shots being aggressive, but as night watchman, that's the last thing you want. So he got through the night and then come out and made 66 off 94 balls, which was so important. Not only to continue that, I guess, the momentum and that partnership, but 60 runs at that stage of the game on that pitch was so important. And then again, the two spinners, their batting is underrated, has always been underrated for someone like Jadeja. He scores so many important runs for India. And Sundar, Washington Sundar, another 50 as well. So those two, I feel like I've said it every single podcast I've done about this series. The talk around no Kuldeep Yadav, I don't think changes. I still think I'm surprised he didn't play a part in this series. I think he could have helped India take 20 wickets in this series. But you cannot take anything away from these two. With the bat, they've been exceptional. With the ball, they've been exceptional. So I don't think anybody can criticise, those two players, these two spinners, the part or the impact they had in this series. Deserved their spot, grabbed it with both hands. But I do think Kuldeep will continue to be a talking point because I think he's that X-factor bowler for India. I think he's in his prime at the moment, and I think he could have helped them throughout this series take 20 wickets. But that's for another day. India, like I say, 396 they managed to make, and I'm certain they would have thought this game is ours to win. Then England come out to bat. My goodness, 374 they're chasing, and they just fall short. No doubt whatsoever. Joe Root, Harry Brook at the crease, flying. Did not look like getting out. An amazing partnership once again. Joe Root, 100 after 100 after 100. He's phenomenal. He's in prime form leading into the Ashes series as well. So, this England team, I think 2-2 draw in your own backyard. If I'm captain of that team, I'm disappointed with that result. I want to win, especially in my own conditions. I think they would have come into this series expecting to win the series. Not taking India lightly. I don't think they did that at all. I think India's overachieved, particularly with the lead up to this series. I think the expectation, if India lost the series, I think people could have respected that and understood that and wouldn't have criticised India at all. New captain, 2 of their most senior players not playing Test cricket, the best bowler in the world knowing he's only going to play at best 3 out of 5 Test matches. I think England go into this series expecting to win. So I think India have overperformed, have been exceptional. To be able to level the series 2-2, that's definitely a win for India in my opinion. So England can talk about, and they will talk about, and rightly so, the good parts of this series. Individual players making hundreds, very good. Jofra Archer coming back into this team and bowling like a genius. I think that's a real positive for England. Ben Stokes back bowling, absolute positive and bowling well. Very much a positive for England moving forward coming into the Ashes series. But I do think they've got some concerns coming to Australia in November. I think no legitimate spinner, I think, is going to be a big concern. And listening to some of the talk in Australia as well around Nathan Lyon maybe not playing in the Ashes series, what a load of rubbish. Nathan Lyon has to play. Nathan Lyon, I know we've got 3 brilliant quicks in Starke, Hazelwood and Cummins. You can add Scotty Boland to that as well. So our 4 quicks are unreal. Don't get me wrong. But Nathan Lyon is as important as any of those 4. Australia will definitely pick a spinner. It will definitely be Nathan Lyon, and he will definitely have impact in the Ashes series, in my opinion. So I think you need a spinner in Australia. In all conditions, every single test match in Australia, I'll be very surprised if Nathan Lyon misses a game. England don't have a legitimate spinner, a frontline spinner they can call on. So that's one of their major concerns. And again, I think the fitness of Jofra Archer, Mark Wood, Ben Stokes, and now even Chris Wokes with that dislocated shoulder, I think that is so important. And yes, we've got some time leading into the Ashes, but I think that's going to be defining for this England team. I think, like I say, yes, there's been some positives that have come out of it, but I think there's some question marks in regards to can they beat Australia in Australia. I think that's going to be their concern. But overall, like I say, phenomenal performance by both teams. 2-2 probably sums up where it is. I think they both played some great cricket through the series, and I think 2-2 is a good representation of what we've seen. I would take that as India, it's probably more of a win for India than England, even though they didn't win the series. But you want to win in your own backyard. You know your conditions well. Every team is better at home than away. And I think we've seen that in Test cricket for a long period of time. So, England probably look at the fact they lost Wokes early on day one, or early in the Test match on day one. I think they'll think they did well to get so close. But at the end of the day, whether you lose by 7 or you lose by 107, to me, it's a result-driven world we live in. It's about wins and losses. 2-2 in the series. To me, that's victory to India because it's being played over in England conditions. India's bowling, again, Krishna, Siraj. Wow. I feel like every time Bumrah's not around, Siraj just gets this, I've got to stand up mindset and attitude. He wants the ball when the team's under pressure. I feel like he's a better bowler when there's more expectation and pressure put on his shoulders. I think he really enjoys that role in the team. 5 for 8 in the second innings, just to keep going. Well, that's the other thing. Not only 5 wickets, 30 overs. He bowled 30 overs in the last Test match, in the last innings of a 5-Test series. Mate, the workload that he has gone through this series is phenomenal, and he deserves a lot of credit. And I couldn't be happier for him to have taken that last wicket, to be honest. He certainly deserved it. So, wonderful series by him, and a great way to, again, step up and lead the attack when the best bowler in the world's not playing. Brilliant Test series. To me, it's, and again, I've had one eye all throughout this series. I know, India v England, Indian fans and England fans care most about this, but as an Australian fan, I've had one eye on the Ashes the whole way through. So looking at England in different areas, different aspects, being under pressure, how's this England team playing, all thinking about how's Australia going to go this summer, or how are England going to compete with Australia this summer. And to me, I still think Australia are definitely favourites to win the series. I probably pick Australia to win 3-1. I think there'll be one Test match washed out. I don't think there'll be a draw. I think there'll be a washout. Or rain will play a part so we don't get a result. But I think the Australian attack is defining in Australian conditions. Starke, Hazelwood, Cummins will be the first 3 picked quicks. If there's an injury, Scotty Boland, no-brainer comes in. Nathan Lyon will play. I think the Aussies that have watched this series, which I'm sure they would have, they'll be confident, certainly the batters, even though, yes, we've seen a bit of movement and there's a lot of talk about our top order batting at the moment. I think looking at the England attack, I think they rely heavily, extremely heavily on Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes. I'm not sure either of them can bowl as much as they're going to be required to bowl in a 5-Test series in Australia. In these conditions, if we have a good summer weather-wise, so tough on your body. I'm not sure Jofra will be ready to get through 5 Test matches. I hope he is. I think for the series, We need Archer fit, we need Stokes fit, and I think they also need Mark Wood fit. So if they can get Wood and Archer to play 5 test matches between them, Stokes is fit to play all 5, then I think they've got an attack to compete with Australia to get the Aussie batters out. But I think it's going to be a real challenge for them. I just think playing in conditions, you need speed through the air with your fast bowlers, and I think you rely heavily on a spinner, and they haven't got that. So from a Summers perspective, which will be the next test matches the Aussies play, I think the Aussies are definitely favourites. Like I said, I'm backing them to win 3-1. But England do come here confident. England's batting has improved out of sight. The way they are batting has improved out of sight. I think they've worked out that balance between going hard versus going hard at the right time. So I think that's certainly a positive for them. Archer being back playing is a positive. Stokes being back batting and bowling is a positive. They'll want Mark Wood, and then I think we're in for an absolute cracker. But I'm backing the Aussies. 3-1 to the Aussies. But well done to India. Well done to England. Wonderful test series. India take that as a win, in my opinion, more than England. But in regards to what is the most important, and that is Test cricket continuing to excite fans, I don't think we could ask for anything more.